Hello and welcome to a new edition of KSSU News. Now hopefully you survivors out there are able to tune in to this quick and helpful tips that we have for you today. In this edition we'll be covering the recent zombie infestation and a virus causing it as well as there's the diseases it originates. Let's head over to Ryan Myberg with more on that.
Right now there are zombies running rampant everywhere. In our time of need there may not be a hero, but we can at least assess the worst of the disease is to come. The disease is known as dracunculitis. This is a parasite which infects human bodies and alters the host behavior. The parasite has immunity to drugs and can be transmitted via mice, fish, birds, cows, and human-to-human contact is by far the worst position. There are other things that we can do to help destroy the contact, but they are underway. ZAPS agents advise us to make our own way to the safe zones indicated in the ZAPS channel news network. Tune in whenever possible to get an update on the virus movement.
Well, millions are dying and coming alive again as the zombie virus spreads throughout the nation and around the world. Victims of the dracunculitis virus are showing up everywhere around the world. A former Special Forces government team naming themselves ZAPS, the Zombie Apocalypse Protection Agency, have created checkpoints and safe zones of areas to clear the zombie threat. The virus has certainly hit the United States, but it has hit a bigger continents east of the Atlantic. Authorities say that the virus is the biggest threat here in the U.S., but the UK and China are close behind. The ZAPS agency are spreading their wings to try and not just protect here around the U.S., but around the world as well. We hope to see a day where there is more safety than not.
If you are in an unsafe area, ZAPS officials advise you to move your way to temporary safe zones for evacuation. Route signs should be placed here in Marshall. Highway 83 is your best bet for safety, having checkpoints over in the Ford area and another at the Varsity Pub. Each checkpoint will be a gateway to the safe zones where ZAPS officials will check for any signs of infection. Major cities are shut down and are not safe due to the high population. If the plan is making a journey to another town, we advise you to stay away from the Twin Cities and head towards Sioux Falls.
And we're going to take a quick break. You're watching KSSU News.
The zombie apocalypse is among us, and SMSU cares about the safety of its students, so we will provide weekly tips and tricks to protect yourself from the zombies. You'll find all segments here on KSSU. This edition of Tips and Tricks for the Zombie Apocalypse brought to you by Old Spice. With the increasing amount of rotting zombie corpses lining the streets, the stench is too much for even the citizens of Marshall, who are already used to the ghastly smells of the ethanol plant. The solution? Wear a bandana sprinkled with Old Spice to help with the stench of the rotting flesh.
They groan, they moan, they eat you alive. Do you have a zombie problem? Are you tired of wasting your energy on removal methods that just don't work? Then it's time to get yourself Zombicide. This repellent will stop those zombies in their tracks. No longer will you have to worry about zombies damaging your lawn or eating you alive. Just a quick spray and they'll be out of your way. Zombicide, the spray that will send them trudging away.
Alongside my buddy Ryan Myberg, and we have our guest here today, Dylan Kerfman. And hey Dylan, our viewers want to know, well, the very few that are still living, what is this thing that's apparently brought on God's vengeful and wrath upon humanity? What is the forsaken medium in which has all but ultimately brought upon our inevitable and impending doom?
Absolutely, guys. Well, you see, this virus that has been brought upon us, what is spoken in the book of Revelation, is known as dracunculitis and is actually a genus of the sporoid nematode parasite, actually. And it is in the family of Draculonidae. And some species infest humans, while some seem to alter their host. And because of that, the behavior is in a way that may support the worm's reproductive cycle. Now, obviously, it seems that this has happened on a much larger scale.
Well, now, Dylan, that's all very interesting, but can you maybe explain or tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely, Ryan. You see, the parasite is not only a waterborne, but it also has evolved to become a drug. And we are looking at a full resistance to and possibly a transmittable, or it's been transmittable rather, via the mice, fish, birds, and cows. And it's pretty interesting stuff, actually.
So how did this drug-resistant parasite come into fruition exactly? Can science explain this, or are we looking for a full-blown supernatural attack here?
While some may argue that a supernatural deity hath brought down retribution for the cumulative sins of man with one devastating strike, it can actually be explained through science. You see, basically, with all of the antibiotics that we've been eating like candy, like a good piece of candy, we've unknowingly unleashed a hellspawn upon the earth. Now, certain species of these have evolved to certain resistance to the drugs, and due to random genetic mutations as well. Now, this strain has evolved, it's attacked, and we have no countermeasure, ergo, we're probably all going to die. But, how neat is that, I guess?
Whoa, so you're saying is we're more than likely all gonna die?
Well, hold your horses there, buddy. There is actually some hope. If a team of scientists can round up enough samples, we can potentially save an anecdote of sorts.
But before we get to that, what are the symptoms and causes for, and I hope I'm saying this right, zombificationing?
That sounds good to me, Matt. Basically, typically what you'll find for symptoms is you'll have vomiting, violent vomiting, in fact. You also have high fever, weakness of the body, vertigo, and then death and reanimation.
All right, well now, how does this go about, and how does this happen to, say, an everyday person? How would this affect them?
Sure. You see, the parasite is drawn to the proteins in our brain. More specifically, it's the AMBB protein, which is vital for reproduction. Now, AMBB, as we also like to call it, is located in the gray matter areas of your brain, and it destroys its way to the brain's feed of the gray matter, which controls the consciousness for our human body. Now, the white part, as I also like to call it, which controls our basic motor functions, it is under the control of the parasites after rigmorosis is initiated.
That's some scary stuff there, Dylan. What can we do to help?
All right, well, two things here, gang. First of all, you got to follow Jeremiah's PSA. It's got some good stuff in there. We require samples. Put them in holds if you approach them so we can bring them back to our labs. And we will study the parasites. We're going to experiment on these things. Different potential medicines could come about. But you know what? Ultimately, it's a trial and error process. The more samples we have, the better we can do.
All right, well, you heard it here, viewers. Go out and try and get some samples. Be careful, but be safe. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you in the studio.
Hey, delighted to be here.
You need protection. Yes, that's right, you. The zombie apocalypse is here. The fellas at Zombie Pros have the solution for you. Introducing the Zombie Basher. They stop. They smash. They bash zombies. You can get full 24-hour protection with them. They protect you, your family, and your home. Log on to zombiebasher.com before you get eaten.
A desperate plea to each of our viewers to prepare you and your loved ones for an inevitable zombie attack. As you know, zombies are moving towards us, and our great state of Minnesota is at risk. My advice? Stay calm and fight the zombies. I have just the survival kit you need to impress your friends, neighbors, becoming a true zombie warrior. The ideal survival kits include guns, ammunition, more guns, noise blasters, and a pack of trained attack dogs. The key to a successful preparation is prepare. Prepping for a zombie attack may be frowned upon by some, but they may just be the same people crying at your doorstep to help you save them from the zombies. Remember, stay calm and fight the zombies.
And welcome back here to KSSU News. Whether we like it or not, the zombie apocalypse is upon us, and zombies are making their way more and more into the mainstream of our culture and interacting with humans. This has brought about many deep social questions, moral values, and how zombies and humans, or can they really, coexist? I'm joined this evening with Matt Callahan and Ryan Myberg to discuss this issue. Gentlemen, let's get started by first taking a look at the key issue. Are zombies really people? Matt, I ask you.
Well, I don't know why he's reacting like that, but I gotta say one thing. They are people, okay? We know for sure. We don't know for sure if they're actually, as they call, zombies, as we like to say. But I think they're real people. It's just this virus that's going on. I mean, they still got feelings as well.
All right, Ryan, what do you say?
Well, I just don't know how you can consider them being people. I mean, you say they're sick, they got a virus. When you get the chicken pox, you don't lose all cognitive thinking in your brain and walk around like all the time, and you don't do that. I think to classify somebody as a person, you need to have full emotions and thinking and be able to do at least one thing by yourself, not just controlled by this virus. It's almost like you're a leech, and this leech is controlling your body. You're not a person.
So Ryan, if I may interject here real quick. So are you suggesting perhaps that the CDC should classify this as an infestation and that the means of extermination?
Yes, I do. I believe in order to get rid of the zombies, we need to get them off our streets. We need just to get rid of their bodies, get rid of everything. Same thing with the roach problem. You can see a roach, you kill the roach is gone.
All right.
That's what we need to do.
I see. Matt, what say you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, what one thing can control your body? That's my question. What, like you say, a leech is, controlling you, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go eat people. They're obviously sick, okay? They're obviously sick. There's not one thing that can just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna control you type thing. Yeah, okay.
The virus, man.
So perhaps on the whole human emotion aspect, I think to the Christina Perri song, I'm Only Human, and I believe she says in there, I bleed when I fall down. Now, can we confirm that zombies, if they fall down, express that human emotion and really bleed? Matt, do we really know?
Well, my team says so. I mean, the Zaps obviously are, exterminating them, but I think they're wrong. First of all, I look at my team. This team is the ZEE, okay? The ZEE is one of the best organizations around. They did the research. They found out what was going on with these zombies, and they're still alive. They're still people.
All right, Ryan, I feel like you have something to say.
I definitely disagree with that because I as well have my own research team, and we are a very high-trained, qualified men of scientists, and we go through and we look at our zombies and we cut them open, see what's going on the inside, look at everything to do with them, and they're not people. And I don't know where you get off thinking that. I just don't get it.
Well, first of all, what's your team? What's your team
is
name?
Very qualified men. We don't have a team name.
I don't even have a team name.
There's no need to have a team name. If you're gonna
Gentlemen, I'm sure that you both have the best nerds that are still alive post-apocalypse here, but I think we need to move on to another key issue that's really been brought along here in the mainstream media, including here on KSSU, and that is zombie-human marriage. Is that something that should be legalized? I mean, what are your thoughts here, Matt? I'll start with you.
100%. I mean, to be honest, they're still people, okay? The think that all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, I just want to eat your brains type thing, and oh yeah, they control you. There's no way that these things can control you. They're sick. They need help.
No.
But if you can't treat them, and if they've got feelings, then yeah, it should be legalized. 100% agree.
Nope, not at all.
Gentlemen, I wish we had more time, but unfortunately it is all the time we have.
He's absurd,
Folks, stay strong in this apocalypse. Lock your doors, hold your family close, and stay strong. Thanks for joining us.